Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, top of the time zone, wherever you may be watching or listening to the Intervision FM universe. I'm Alan C. and got Johnnie J in the house. It's Monday, March 6th. And you have joined us on the Intervision FM podcast, Blind People, Black People, Reparations. We're going to talk about biscuits and Popeyes. We're going to talk about a whole lot more. You're not going to want to miss this one on the Intervision FM Universe podcast. Got a full house today. Be here every day of the week and twice on Sunday.
Running out? Yeah. Hi everybody, this is the Godfather Soul James Brown. I tell you, this business is on. My man is on. Check him out. This is the Godfather Soul James Brown saying stay with it and hit it.
Okay, I sort of was going backwards there a little bit, but I know Betty's going to get on my case about that.
Running out? Yeah. Hi everybody.
Yeah, and James Brown's getting on my case as well. Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a crazy day. I was kind of stuff as much as I could into the beginning of of starting up the show, and hey, we welcome everybody to the show. Today we're gonna be talking about. I've been here all this weekend. I've been here for a long time. A lot of these shows I go African Americans, reparation, and I kept on saying, okay, maybe we should learn financial ability first. And then I thought about, well, maybe if the Native Americans are jumping on that, and African Americans jumping on that, maybe and maybe even the Chinese Americans, maybe we should throw in the blind. So
that's absolutely right, Johnny. We are joined by blind folks on this show today. A couple all the way from South Africa, and
yes,
one right here in the United States of America. So. Boy, this is going to be a spicy hot topic today.
It is.
Oh yes. And tell us. Let's go into some of our sponsors and all that kind of stuff. So,
well, we do have Christian Brothers Moving Company. Maybe they're calling me right now. I don't know. Got them based out of Englewood, Colorado. We also have them in Phoenix, Arizona, and in the great state of Texas. It's a big state, folks, so I can never remember what city they're based out of in Texas. But if you look up Christian Brothers Moving Company, they'll be happy to help you to get all the way across the nation, wherever you need to be. We also have Denver Art Venue, and those guys help us with all kinds of stuff from promotion of our grassroots musicians, whether they're physically disabled or otherwise financially challenged, or both. We're all in this together. So, and inflation affects us all, and affects us all. Affects us.
yeah. Hey,
we have a couple of other folks, Eeny Meeny Grant, and there was one other.
Oh, not the
Denver
Denver
Art Foundation.
Yeah, Denver Art Foundation. Yeah, it's like I got some of these points, and I'm working on some more, man. I'm gonna be doing 2 more grants a day to top this thing off. But also I went to a employee appreciation event with Christian Brothers this weekend, and I got some great video of a pie eating contest.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, $200 for the winner. Now, I know I could eat one pie in 2 days. But these guys,
That's what they call a turtle pie eating contest.
yeah,
You eat it
but these
slowly.
guys, I
in
mean,
2
they went at
days.
it, and they even had two ladies that were going at the same pie, because women are a little bit smaller, right? That's what. So we had so you can have the two heads butting, and I got video of this stuff, so I'm going to put that on probably like on a Thursday special because it was just so funny. And most of his workers are Spanish, so they were saying all these unusual things in Spanish. So all you Spanish speaking people, you'll probably be able to understand, like, oh, my stomach, and in Spanish and all that kind of stuff. But it was fantastic. It was fantastic. So somebody, well, I know who won the 200. So you just have to wait and see.
Hey, speaking of food, we're talking about biscuits from Popeyes. Speaking of food, we're also talking about, blind people. Blind people like to eat, and reparations can include food. So, we're talking about a couple other different topics. Where do you want to start today, Johnny?
Let's go to that biscuit thing, because that was so crazy. I don't know if I see. I sent it out to my email list, but not everybody got that. So anyway, in the South, let me see if I can find.
We got to be careful.
Georgia. She's from Georgia, huh?
Yeah, we got to be careful not to mention the restaurant chain too much.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Get our benevolent overlords.
Yeah. Okay. Well, somewhere in the land of Georgia, there's a very popular chicken place. It's a national brand. And okay, sometimes a person might get your order wrong. I mean, I noticed, like, when I go to the Mickey's, if I say a hamburger, they'll give me a cheeseburger.
Right.
And it's almost like, do they not read the menu, or am I not speaking right words or whatever? But at this particular one, this lady walked in, she got an order, and I guess maybe she might have went out to her car, and then she looked into her her bag, and she saw that the biscuit was missing. Well,
the missing biscuit.
Right. So, normal people would go back in and say, excuse me, I paid for a full meal, and my biscuit is missing. So the man,
biscuit.
Yeah. So the manager, he comes out, and he tries to calm her down and say, ma'am, we'll give you 2 biscuits. We'll give you whatever. But for some reason, that wasn't enough. And
oh boy, Johnny, what'd she do? Did she make a new drive-through?
Well, yeah, she goes out to her SUV, which I don't know if you guys ever seen an SUV. It's a pretty big car. And she puts it in reverse, and she goes through the window.
Oh my, Johnny. You made a new drive-through, Johnny.
And now, probably the damage to the building is going to cost more than that biscuit. So
she's one crazy biscuit mama.
Yes.
She's one crazy biscuit mama. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, leave a comment down below wherever you may be watching. Follow us where you can follow us, and boy, folks, wow, sometimes we talk about some pretty crazy stuff here. So
that's so terrible.
Hey, brother Johnny, I'd like to comment on that lady. I'd like to meet that lady because she's really, she's a really hot mama. She's got guts. She can fight for a biscuit.
Yeah, she really fighting with a biscuit. But sometimes I wonder if what they put in the food makes you so addictive that you act like you're an addict. I mean, that's like a person looking for, like, I guess I heard about these people that they smoke this. This is not crack. Is it crack or is it something else? They smoke this stuff, and then they're looking on the floor looking for pieces of it so they could put it in the pipe and smoke some more of it. And I wonder if they just put stuff in this food to make it so addictive that you start acting like.
You're right about that, my friend. They are putting stuff in the food for you to get to become addictive to it. So you
Yeah.
want more of it.
Yeah,
Wow.
That's
because
true. That's true. Yeah.
So there's an actual conspiracy theory that now is fact where they're helping us with our food by putting stuff in there. I wonder what the reason for that might be.
I want to get people
Maybe
to
they're
buy
putting
more.
to
I'm
buy
thinking
more.
I'm just thinking like it's to get people to buy more and more of that food. And
Wow.
and you know, and then the people who are marketing it and you know own the franchise, they make more money as you eat more and more. I mean, my brother, you know, God rest his soul. I mean, he used to be this slim fit army guy. Then he got into his 60s and he blew up like a balloon. I mean, he's like 6'5", and I mean, he just blew up because he would just, you know, he'd drive by and it's so convenient, just drive through, order, and then continue on. And didn't help that he used to love to bake cakes for his friends, but he would like to eat the cake. You know, he'll sample one whole cake and say, "Oh, that was good. Let me make another cake." And so,
Oh my goodness.
so he was just eating cakes away,
Yeah.
and his wife is totally slender, but he grew up. He's got, oh man. So the food can be addictive. You know, it's like what can I say?
So being blind, it's never more important to go ahead and have the ability to read the ingredients list
Oh yeah.
and almost become a scientist. Figure out what's in your food, what's going to be the most healthy. Hey, folks, I did see one time where you can make grape soda out of rubber gloves. That was very
Wow.
fascinating. use of it.
What?
That's terrible.
Yeah, I don't know. It was interesting, but you know,
That's
our food
terrible.
is we are what we eat sometimes. So yeah, do watch what you put into your body.
Yeah.
You know, and that brings us to the scripture because it's also just as important to put stuff into our minds.
Mhm.
So
Mm.
oftentimes we'll bring up a scripture on our show. Where are we at today?
It's Colossians,
I love Colossians.
chapter 3. Let me go back up there where I was, because I'm way down here with the Chinese invention, but I don't know. Should we say that the Chinese invention till the last? Oh,
We'll save that one towards the last. We're just going to give them a shout out at the end, I think.
Can I just say something while you're pulling
Oh.
on Colossians? Book of Proverbs says, "Be weary of what lays before you on the table when you're sitting in the presence of your enemy."
hey,
Yeah,
Hey.
that's pretty good.
that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
You got to be
Amen.
careful
Amen
what
to
you
that.
say,
Be
how you
a
act,
greedy person,
how
the
you
enemy is
behave.
just waiting to hand you over the poison meal.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, there is that too. There is that too, folks. Got to
Yeah,
be
wow.
careful of those.
Okay, so let me get this. Okay, so therefore, as God chosen people, holy
Amen.
and dearly, okay, and then it says, love and clothe yourself with compassionate and kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. Okay, then it says, okay, this is a big one. Bear, you know, with each other, and forgive whatever grievances, and that's a big one, you
Yeah.
may have against one another.
Amen.
That's
Yeah.
really wow. Yeah.
You know, and that brings us right into our next topic, reparations, and should people be getting them? As a blind member of the blind community, we've always been taught here in America anyway, and we do have a narrow perspective. So I want to open this up to you folks as well, who are not
Okay.
from America, as well as to get American perspective. But by golly, we were told not to play that card ever. We're supposed to stand on our merits. We're not to stand on our disability and just say we want because we're disabled. Here in America, that does tend to rear its head where folks tend to stand on a given demographic of society. We happen to be, for our case, we happen to be blind, and we want more simply because we're blind.
Yeah, and I don't know if you've read the story about the lawyer, the blind lawyer who put this into law in the 1930s, I believe. And his idea was, well, for people who may not be able to get a job, who want to move out of their parents' household, they don't want to be, treated like kids and can't move out. Let's do something where they have a chance to at least move out, because not everybody's going to be a lawyer, not everybody's going to be, a professional where like he was. So he had his heart was good behind it, but as in any government program, if they start something, they want to do more and more, then that just creates more of the problem. When the initial thing was to support people who didn't want to live with mommy and daddy for the rest of their lives or something like that. So yeah.
Yeah, I just want to say something about about reparation. When it comes to reparation, when people with disabilities should also be given chances with regards to owning franchises. For
Okay.
example, we need to be given first choice when it comes to a franchise. For example, if Aaron Richmond cannot afford to start a KFC franchise, then the Yum Kentucky franchise should look into his disability and say, listen, this guy is not working. He's unemployed. He's getting a social security, and he's trying to do his best. Let's see how we can fit him into the program and try and give him a startup. That's what I was aiming for a long time, because you know what, the people with disabilities, especially the blind community, we are ostracized, sidelined, marginalized. So reparation, it can be a really good thing.
Yeah.
What do you think, Latabo?
Well, okay, to to this topic about reparation, what I can say is, as a blind person though, or a visually impaired person, I know that we should also educate ourselves when it comes to that, because of here in South Africa, I don't even know if maybe we have been taught or we're still going to be taught about this, but also not forgetting that our social system or our social security system, it's not as active as we would like to. And obviously, I know sometimes we could have problems when it comes to that, and also it becomes a narrative that the society is given that opportunity to say, no, these people, they won't work because of their conditions or something like that. And which is not. Obviously, we want to participate in the community. I mean, in the economy actually. So there's a quite a negative narrative about that. So that's one thing that we should stay away from, especially when it comes to stereotypes of people saying bad stuff about people who are living with disabilities, more especially with blind people and visually impaired people. Then it becomes more challenging, because if I can say this, on Wednesday, obviously we will be going to legislature as we unpack these issues to them. It becomes a challenging part where we tell them, like, look guys, we are facing this and this and this and this, but how are you going to help us doing this? But it's like people, like those legislative people, they don't even take they don't even take serious what we are talking about, especially when it comes to um the issues that we are addressing to them, so that people should know about.
Let me
This
put
is a snapshot of South Africa. What do you say, Aaron? You live in the United States. Aaron's from the United States. What do you have to say on this subject?
I mean,
Yeah.
on this subject, what I can say is I wasn't quite entirely sure what you meant right away when you said the word reparation, but now I kind of understand it. I wasn't 100% sure what you meant by that.
Oh,
But
oh,
now that I see what you're talking about, I mean, kind of along the lines of what Latabo was saying too. Look, it's a two-way street, and I really appreciate having Latabo and Ian here because both of you bring so much wisdom to the
Yeah.
community. And really,
true.
what it comes down to is this: blind people do need to start doing a lot more in educating themselves. So I really
Yeah.
think that it's a two-way street. What I mean is that blind people need to step it up a lot. A lot, a
Yeah.
lot, a lot. Most blind people, okay, are not either podcast hosts like us or doing these types of things. The vast majority, if not many of them, are either listening to this program or not, but most of them are not in a position of leadership willing to, go the extra mile to help the entire world. And that's fine
True.
as long as when you come to understand that if you are not the host, if you are not truly, in a position of leadership, then you just aren't going to get anywhere. So I really think that blind people need to give themselves a little bit of a push. And what I mean is blind people need to start working a little bit harder. Not saying that they aren't working, just saying that I would like to see a better attitude and harder work within the community. And the fact that we're doing this together is helpful to the community, but certainly I want to see more of what we do here on our various respective shows.
Hey,
Yeah,
now,
over to you.
let me throw
Go
this
ahead,
into the let me throw this into the mix.
Sure.
Does this give?
Sure.
Do you think like when they say a blind person, because they in the back of the mind maybe they know that we receive this monthly check, and it's only like working a part-time job. It's only like part-time if you're working a part-time job kind of money that they give most of us. Do you think it makes the employer say, well, I really don't have to hire this person because they got this little check and they should be just fine. So if I reject them and say, well, the position has been filled or something like that, does that give them more of an out to say something like that rather than say, let's give this guy a chance and let's see what he can do?
It
think
does. It
yeah.
does. It does because I've been hearing a lot in my own community on my side of the country, and there are I don't want to there's plenty of you know better than I. There's tons of political people out where you guys are, but when you're from the eastern part of the country, you're in more of a political audience and more of a political crowd. I know blind people, and I'm not going to say names obviously, but I know blind people who won't work just because they would rather get the SSI or the because they would rather get the check. But the funny thing is that what they don't understand, and it's because, quite frankly, if you don't mind me saying such an abrupt thing, it's because they're lazy. They don't understand. They don't understand.
Yes.
They don't understand.
Yeah,
They don't
true.
understand that they would have more, but it would be easier for them to make their own money, But they but I'm deeply, Johnny, and I know you are too. We are deeply concerned that there are far too many. There are far too many. One moment, please, Ian. Hold on. I know it's tricky, but there are far too many. There are far too many people. Far too many people who just are not giving it enough of a push. And that's kind of my abrupt opinion about it. Okay, go ahead, Ian. Go ahead, Johnny.
Oh, well, and then we'll go with Reed.
Right.
In Colorado, I found that I guess the average pay, they were saying we're breaking down like minorities and this and that. And so the average pay of African Americans in Colorado is supposed to be like 38,000 to 43,000. And in 1 year I made 68,000.
Right.
But I had to really, push it. And now I'm going for like even more than that. But I like the fact that I can pick how much I make, not the government. Yeah, and give that to the government. Give them a growl.
It is interesting because we do have a situation where we're going to have to all of us start reporting ourselves as entities making $600 or more. Now, there are rumors going around. Are they going to defund that IRS thing, or are they not going to defund it? My thinking is because of the government overspending, they're going to want to try to figure out a way to get revenue back. So you'll have dolls anatomically correctly made. Those will be on sale more than they already are. And some of these things cost $6,500. And this does have to do with what we're talking about, because these ladies and gentlemen, artificially made, can have the ability to connect to the Wi-Fi and act as a sort of digital assistant, as it were, anatomically correct, of course. And it has the potential to distract people and help them out, as it were.
Are you talking about that device that has been made? This is one of our topics, the China toy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Let me
It's
tell
in China.
you.
It's in Germany.
Okay.
We're not going to
I
support anyone.
I found this story, and in China, which is if it's in China, it's gonna come to America eventually, if it's not already here. Say you got someone that you're in love with, and they live far away from you, and you want to say hello to them and all that kind of stuff. They have this thing that you're going to attach to the phone. It has lips, anatomically lips, and so when you're saying goodbye to your sweetheart, you can kiss this lips. And I'm thinking, like, I don't know, man. It's like, is technology getting too crazy? I mean, I've heard of people like they love themselves so much that they kiss themselves in the mirror, but this is getting a little bit too crazy. What do you think? I mean, is this going a little bit too far with technology? Why don't we just save up the money, travel across the world, wherever the person is, and just meet the person in person, after you got to know them, and make up your decision face to face like that, rather than this imitation of a person or half of a person.
Yeah. It's very.
Go ahead, Aaron.
It's very strange. All the technology is very strange. I can tell you that. In case you were wondering, no, I don't love myself enough to give myself a kiss in the mirror in the morning. I've never heard of this, but it just keeps. Here's what really scares. Here's what really concerns me. And as a philosophical person on my own show, this is one of the topics that I push a lot too. Is the whole philosophy and mindset of our society. It's really scary. We need to stop making these toys. Life is not a toy. Technology is not a toy. Zoom is not a toy. So stop playing around is what I would tell people who develop these silly toys to make money and to probably spy on us. Stop playing around, because we're gonna eventually wake up one day and say, what were we thinking? What were we doing?
Right, Aaron. You've got a very valid point.
But the problem is that people just won't stop. The Chinese won't stop doing whatever they're doing. By the way, speaking of the weather balloons, because you brought it up, or actually you didn't, but I'm bringing it up. Speaking of the weather balloons, by the way, I have my own opinion about that, and I actually don't think it's the Chinese. I honestly, just to sprinkle in some controversy, because it's your show. I really think I personally think it's probably extraterrestrial or aliens or something like that.
That'd be cool.
But I don't actually think that China needs to be blamed for the weather balloons. I don't think they need to be blamed. I actually don't think it's them. I think it's some other society or something. I think something else is going on. And I think if we don't put these toys down, I'm really scared about this. If we don't put these toys down, we're gonna wish we never played.
Too much of a distraction. You're saying like too much of a
distraction.
They talk a
lot about. Yeah, exactly. They talk a lot about distraction. There's just so much stuff out there, and there are so many rabbit holes that people literally get flooded and inundated with so much information.
Stop listening. Well, you know what? Stop watching those videos. Stop digging that rabbit hole. Stop digging down. Right. Just stop. Right. Just seriously. Seriously, a lot of times in my own community, with all the things that I do, it's like literally I'm like screaming to myself, stop, just stop, because we're only doing more damage, and we just don't realize how much damage we're doing. Yeah.
So that's why Colossians was brought up today, because we need to interconnect, and it's not a new age kind of interconnect, but we need to actually get outside of ourselves and get into this place where we're putting each other first. That is the foundational principle behind what love is. And so unless and until we do that, yeah, we're gonna run into this issue where we're gonna have our little toys, our little dolls, our little internet things, our little let's surveil this demographic over there. Let's keep this person out of a job. Let's divide. We need to unite, folks.
Yeah.
That's really the bottom line. We're all the same. We got DNA that says we're human. Let's act human.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Lataba. It sounded like you had a question. Go ahead.
You had a comment?
It's Ian. I had a.
Go ahead.
As far as the reparations is concerned, and like Aaron saying, we need to push the blind to get to the upper rungs in life. The thing is, the World Blind Union and all the organizations that deals with these matters, that are setting up these rules and regulations, they are not actually going down to the ground level to see whether these doctrines are being implemented. That's where the problem lies. I know it for a fact.
And I'm
That's
kind
the
of on the
truth.
other side. I think regulations are great because they help to give us guidelines and guide rails. But too many regulations may be too many cooks in the kitchen.
Right.
And so we got the World Blind Union that only wants to help the blind people worldwide. We've got the National Federation of the Blind here in the United States that wants to help on a federal, state, and local level here in the States. And they work with company organizations like the World Blind Union. And that's good. But we all need to actually, as Aaron was saying, step it up, whether we're blind, whether we're not. That's just the bottom line. And that happens at the individual level.
Yeah. And what I like to do is, like with my organization, because we work with people with disabilities, and I give people a chance. I say, okay, I'm going to show you how to do this. Then I'm going to have you do it. And then sometimes I have one guy that he didn't want to listen to how to do it. So he says, I'm in charge, Johnny, you just sit down and just relax. And so I let him do that. And then he didn't check to see who was collecting the money at the door. Right.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah. And so it was this other group we were working with. And whenever you're working with a group called Evil Empire, you should watch your back. You watch your back. And I tried to tell him this, Evil Empire, that name is just not a name. But he said, oh, I'm in charge. And what happened was Evil Empire put his people at the door, and Evil Empire, he left with the money. And then the guy went over to me and asked me, where's the money? I said, you told me you're in charge.
And this is another common thing that really needs to stop in the blindness community, Johnny. I'm sure you've noticed this, that a lot of times, and I'm starting to not be frustrated, and I'm starting to not feel bad, because this is what I mean. I mean it. I really mean it. When blind people are speaking to other blind people who are successful and are more knowledgeable, we need to stop talking and start listening. And that's something that really bothers. I mean, Johnny, on a personal level, it really bothers me when people, come to my program, right? And then I give them advice on the actions they need to take, and then they don't listen. And I used to feel bad, and now I don't. And so here's the thing: if you're a blind person who wants to be successful, it's going to involve listening. It's going to involve listening and accepting the criticism of people like Johnny, who are more knowledgeable than I, and more knowledgeable. It's about listening to those who care about you, who have more knowledge, and then helping others who are also deserving of help. But you have to listen.
Yeah, and even I have a mentor. I didn't get here by myself.
Of course not.
So, even I got a mentor, and as people ask advice, and I take that advice and weigh it, and then I go forward, and it's always good to, two heads are better than one, and it's a group event. So, but
I think that's the main thing, is we're all in this together. And Aaron, you have a show on Intervision FM, and it's also produced independently. Tell us a little bit about your show.
It's Aaron's opinion. We syndicate, and thank you, by the way, to Johnnie J for syndicating Aaron's Opinion, the podcast, on your station. Yeah.
Right.
And that's
Every
great.
Thursday from 4 to 4:05 is 4 to 5:05 is on. But tell us about like how people can contact you concerning your show.
Well, they could send me an email, aaronsopinion6@gmail.com. Or they could, of course, that's generally one of the easiest ways, aaronsopinion6@gmail.com, or call or text 24/7 1240 681 9869. 1240-681-9869. If you want to be on my show, that would be great. But Alan,
Yes.
speaking of other things that I want to talk about, there's something else that I want to talk about, and I need your help to bring it up. So yeah, right there.
So Johnny has started a school, and he is helping DJs that are financially challenged or physically disabled, grassroots musicians, recording artists, things like this. Also, there is a movie that Johnny is recreating that he made back in 1991, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
And what we're looking for is in front of the camera talent, behind the camera talent, recording artists, musicians, people to write songs. And there is some voiceover work, I would imagine. And so Aaron has elected to throw his hat in the ring.
I've asked you, and I would like to know if there's a way for you to include the Aaron's Opinion podcast in your movie virtually. I'm not able to come to Denver. I'm not able to come out there. But one thing that would be very, very, very interesting and very, very rewarding would be that you and I can write a scene of Even Me where one of the actors in the movie needs to contact a podcast, and then we actually film a scene virtually, and then that scene is actually part of the movie virtually.
Now, I don't know if you saw the last part of the movie, because we can. The last part, they go on this cable show and they win this money, and so there's a person there. I mean, that's a part right there. That'd be the perfect
place to drop a podcast.
Yeah. So
yes.
Because we're going to bring it up to the 2000s, because back then there was no podcasts, or they were cable.
There were no cell phones. There were no internet.
Yeah. Oh man.
The internet was just getting started.
So Johnny, so I'm an action taker. So what action do we need to take here to make this happen? What's the plan?
Well, you just gave me an idea, because we're going to need to find a person for that part.
Okay, so I just want to be transparent. I cannot be there physically.
I know,
but I can be there virtually. So if you write it in the right way, if we write the scene the right way, then we can just include a Zoom call as part of them, and that would be part of the magic. That would actually be part of the magic, because it would be like a virtual connection throughout the movie, which would be really, really powerful. And the other thing that I love doing is I love using my voice as just voiceover. So I would really be honored and I'm really ready to take action and help.
Yeah, there's a place there.
Folks, it's that simple. Just hit us up at info@intervisionfm.com if you want to become a sponsor. If you want to help us out with this project, just hit us up. That's our email address. You can also be added to our list for newsletter that's produced that keeps you abreast of all the topics. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, leave a comment down below, and we will make this happen for you. We're about 10 minutes over, so we do need to wrap this up a little bit. Where do we want to go from here?
Well, just want to let people know, hey, we thank you for joining us, and we know a lot more people they catch it like throughout the day. So just share, subscribe. It helps our algorithms, and we just appreciate the people that will come afterwards and listen. And we appreciate everybody that was on the show today. And we'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we're gonna have some fun too. We may get a chance to talk about why Dr. Fauci lied to us, and because some stuff is coming out about the gain of function emails that were on January 31st and February 1st of 2020. So anyway, we're gonna have some fun, So the overseers of YouTube, they don't have to get mad. We're gonna have fun with this. So we'll see you guys tomorrow, and have a fantastic rest of the day.
Thanks for joining us, folks.
Johnny, thank you guys for inviting me again. I just want to say, man, I wrote a book recently and it's going to be published soon. It's called Healed by Grace. If you want to use that book for anything, let me know. Send me a private chat.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
we should
that's
do that.
awesome.
We should do that. All right. See you guys later.
Bye.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye.